So this was also in that box, and it's something that is rather unwieldy to display in the toy room. I don't really have a space for it. It is a Marvel Select, Diamond Select, Marvel Select Green Goblin. And this is a good example of the sort of early to mid-period Marvel Select because it is beautiful. It is a thing of beauty. The paint is incredible on it. The sculpt is incredible. It comes with a Peter Parker accessory. This is basically a recreation of, I think, John Romita Sr.'s first or second ever Amazing Spider-Man cover, where the Green Goblin Norman Osborn has unmasked Peter Parker and captured him and had taken off with him on his glider. And what I have set up here is a house of cards, basically, because this thing does not like to stay together. The stand comes apart, it comes off the glider, the stand pulls out of the glider, the Green Goblin goes on there with his foot pegs, and then he goes into those stirrups there, but there's also foot pegs, so he's on there pretty good. He has his little pouch, his little weapons. Well, there we go. The whole thing, the whole house of cards. All right, I was going to try to show it to you. See, and he's useless without the glider because his legs are sort of pre-bent. This is very typical early Marvel Select. You'd think maybe he could stand up, but no, not for love or money. Anyway, the rope, which I think is just a soft PVC plastic, but it looks like rope. It's got some paint on it and texture. He holds on to Peter Parker here, and Peter Parker is even less articulated than the Green Goblin. There we go. Some things move on the Goblin. His arms move. His hands move. Does the head? Yeah, the head turns. And the legs go up and down, and I think the feet have a little bit of pivot or wiggle on them. Yeah, not much. They go up and down. That's it. The feet just go up and down. Well, maybe I could get him into like a sitting position. I'll try that in a second. But yeah, this is a pretty good approximation of that John Romita Sr. cover of Peter Parker unmasked and captured by the Green Goblin. I think this rope here is sculpted on, and then this piece, which is, I think, PVC plastic, but made to look like the same rope, is glued in right here. You can see, and it's held up pretty well. I've had this for a long time, many years. And, it's not going anywhere. That glue or whatever it is that's in there, maybe it's pegged in and glued. I don't know. But, well, you could watch this all day, right? That is fun. Fun on a bun. All right. And it's a very hard plastic, this Peter Parker, as you can hear. I'm not in the least bit concerned about breaking it. I should be, I guess. I mean, it's the only one of these that I've ever had. I don't think even his head doesn't turn. It is just one solid painted piece, and he apparently has jaundice, as you can see. I'm not sure why that is. It's not the greatest looking Peter Parker ever, but I mean, it's just an accessory for the Green Goblin here. Let me see if I can get him back up on the stand real quick. All right, I was able to get him back up on the stand, and he does not want to stay up in this position. The stand is very precariously balanced. It is the piece that the actual bar there of the stand that goes up into the glider is keyed in on the bottom of the glider, and it can only go in one position or the other. Right now I have it in the up position. You can also turn it around and have it pointing slightly down. I find the slightly down makes it a little more stable, but he looks better, of course, with it in the up position. And we'll give you the 360 here, or I'll try anyway, to the best of my ability. And again, he's got very janky DC-UC style hips that just sort of bend out at an inhuman angle, and I hate those kind of hips. I always try not to buy figures that have hips like that because I just find them very, very disturbing. But again, the thing with this figure is really it's just about the sculpt. If you want a good-looking Green Goblin and you don't care about articulation, you want essentially a statue that you can display with your 1/10 scale 7-inch figures, because that's what this is. This is Marvel Select. It is a 7-inch figure, but he's all crouched over. So, yeah, I mean, you could fudge it into your Marvel Legends display probably, and I probably should because, god damn, it's a good-looking figure. And I just keep this thing wrapped up in bubble wrap in a box. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just like an action figure obsession. Now, the skull cap there, that is interesting. I've never spun it around like this and looked at it before. I'm sensing a very Humberto Ramos influence on that skull cap. And of course, Humberto Ramos drew the hell out of some good Green Goblin stories 20 years or so ago. Boy, he still looks good. And you can tell that I've had him, wrapped up in the shrink wrap. He's not dusty. He's not dirty. He has, as I was starting to say, his weapons satchel. It is liberally shaded. There's plenty of shading all over this guy. This is what Marvel Select was really known for early on in the line before they started adding more articulation and being a little more concerned with it being an action figure than just looking good standing there by itself, and he wants to tip over. He wants to tip over. I did have it at one point where he would stand up. Okay, you gonna stay there? All right. So the idea of this basically diorama piece is that, he's captured Peter Parker and he's flying off in his glider, and his hand has a hole that is just perfectly sized to hold the rope that Peter is on. And if you're oh, God damn it, 10 minutes since the last mass casualty event. Look at that. John Walker lost his shield that he was never entitled to carry in the first place. All right, one more time. All right, so the Goblin's back up on his glider. That's fine. I think he came with a pumpkin bomb. I don't know where that is. I have another one. Not this one, but it's another Marvel Select Green Goblin with a glider that's huge. It's like 5 times as wide as this one, or at least 2 or 3 times as wide. It's much wider, much more ornate, and it has a smoke effect coming out of it. And I just remembered where it is. You know what? I'm gonna go get it. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this all for you. Stay right there. Okay, so this one wasn't in the box. It was actually on the bottom shelf of my X-Men cabinet, just because it takes up, as you can see, a lot of real estate. But look at the translucent, the flames and the smoke and that all. I don't think that you can remove these things from this. I think they're glued on. But the Goblin Glider itself is super, super impressive. Look at this thing. As I said, it's much wider. Okay, it's maybe twice as wide as the other one, not 5 times as wide, but much better looking. I have thought about using this glider and maybe even this one with my Marvel Legends Green Goblins, because the gliders that come with the modern Marvel Legends Green Goblins are super unimpressive. This guy comes, unfortunately, with 2 pumpkin bombs that are permanently affixed to his hands. You know how I feel about effects pieces or accessories that always can only depict one action or one moment in time, and that's these in a nutshell. This one also appears to be influenced somewhat by the artwork of maybe Humberto Ramos. It definitely isn't a John Romita Sr. I guess this is more Romita Sr. or even Ross Andru Green Goblin with those beady eyes. This guy's a little more terrifying, I think. I mean, my God, which one is scarier, do you think? This guy or this guy? What about if both of them were coming after you? Maybe it's Harry and Norman teaming up, right? This body is god-awful. It's so janky. I'm not even gonna take him off of the glider, I don't think, but you can tell very limited articulation, very lanky, janky hips. I mean, it looks good sort of for what it is, and if you crouch him over, so you don't notice it, I mean, that's pretty good, right? And you'll forgive a lot for the smoke effects and for the beauty of the glider. I mean, it's just it's a lovely piece. And these again were 2 of the earliest Diamond Select, Marvel Select Green Goblins. I'm guessing the one in the back was probably first because it has virtually no articulation. This one has a little more articulation. But again, Marvel Select was really always about how it looked more than it was about how it played. how it articulated right up until the end, and then you were getting things like that last Captain America they did that was just about as good as any Marvel Legends ever released. Just happened to be 7 inches tall and in the 1/10th scale instead of the 1/12th scale. But yeah, you know, Spider-Man's arch nemesis. I should probably have these in my Spider-Man display. I'll show you the Green Goblins that I have in my Spider-Man display. How about that? It's kind of cloudy and overcast here today, so it's dark over here in the Spider-Man Marvel Legends corner. But this is the Humberto Ramos Green Goblin. I think he came out around 2015 or 2016, if I recall correctly. Beautiful. I think it was a repaint of the Hobgoblin that had this body, and this body also came with the Dreadnought, if I recall correctly, and the Black Knight with the fish scales sort of thing. And otherwise, other than that, it's basically a retool of the Bucky cap to add the scales. The face on this goblin is absolutely fantastic and terrifying and looks exactly like Humberto Ramos's most deranged depictions of Norman Osborn. So that's on the left. And then if we go all the way over to the right, there is the retro Green Goblin, which is more, I don't know, it's kind of a compromise between the comic book style and the animated series style. His scales could have really done with a wash, but they were looking for a clean, like our animated series style, I think. And then we have the MCU Green Goblin. That is the last Green Goblin. There's 3 in this Spider-Man display. And he has his glider. Let's see if we can kind of show his glider a little bit. That was a very expensive. I think he was like $50, $60. I literally only bought it for the Willem Dafoe head sculpt. And I said, well, I've got the Green Goblin. I might as well put him in my Spider-Man display. So I think that's the No Way Home version of the Green Goblin, not technically the movie Green Goblin, because he's got the tattered outfit on. And we'll just take a quick look at the Spider-Man display. I don't know if I've ever really gone deep in showing this off and to anybody on these videos, trying to get the best lighting that I can in this dreary dark room situation. But Kraven there in the back, Mr. Negative, Venom. There's movie Dr. Octopus also from No Way Home. Then Dr. Octopus, by the way, huge pain in the ass because those tentacles go all the way down to the shelf. And so that's why there's some room around him, because there's nowhere for anybody to stand with those tentacles. Silver Sable there in the middle, beautiful figure, probably due for an upgrade. And of course my retro Kingpin back there, and also my MCU Kingpin next to him. What a difference Ozempic makes, huh? What a difference Ozempic makes. And my kit bashed Hammerhead, because I think that Hammerhead is too small for the Hammerhead retro body. I actually like it better on the Everett Ross body. And I guess that's it for Spider-Man. Let's go back to the table. Well, this one's all over the map, but I mean, what do you expect from an episode called What's in the Box? The final thing that was in the box, and this was also wrapped up in shrink wrap, and you're gonna probably think this is cool. It is a Batmobile. It is a McFarlane Batmobile for a 7-inch figure. Give you the hero shots of it. I'm not sure if it's a movie Batmobile. I probably should have scrubbed it off a little more. Might be a little dusty. So here's the thing. I got this for the Batman that it came with, which was one of those Hush-style Batmans. I have like 7 of those, I think, and one of them came in this thing. But here's the thing. And do I have a figure that this will work with easily? Okay. Well, I happen to have a 1/10th scale 7-inch McFarlane figure, and that's who made this this Batmobile was McFarlane. So I'm gonna undo this awesome pose that I have Spawn in and show you what's wrong with this Batmobile. Have you figured it out yet? Can you see it? I'll give you a 360. You see what's going on in here in the front? You see what there isn't? You see what's missing? What's missing? Legroom. Because the Batman that came with this fits in it. Come on, Spawn. Yeah, there you go. There's how Batman goes in this thing. And the idea is, I think that he has like a heads-up display in front of him. He doesn't really even need to look out of it, you know, and he's zooming along in the Batmobile. I could cry. Why couldn't they have just made it so he sits in it like a normal goddamn person? And of course, Batman's got the cape too, so it's even more unwieldy. At least this Call of Duty Spawn doesn't have a cape. But yeah, so that's how it works. The legs go back here in the back. In the way, way back. See? Right there. It is a little dusty. Sorry about that. The only other cool kind of feature about it is that it unlocks, so the wheel comes away, and it kind of lengthens the silhouette of it. Or you can put it back in, and then it's a little shorter. I would have liked that a lot better if it was lockable in both positions, but unfortunately it just willy-nilly will decide that it is or isn't going to work. Yeah, so this is the McFarlane Batmobile, and I think this thing was like $40, $50, came with a Batman figure. But you got to lay him not upside down, but you got to lay him on his stomach in it, you know? Commander Rogers, come here. Yeah. And so it would probably work with 6-inch figures too. Yep, there. But, I mean, is that fun? Is there a way in which that is fun? Is there a way in which that looks good in your display? It's the Napmobile. That's what it looks like, the Napmobile. Oh, boy. Yeah. An action figure obsession is nothing to be trifled with, my friends. Because you make so many poor decisions. I mean, I'm glad I have the Batman that came with this, but I probably should have sold it when people were still, like, looking for it. Although it's super heavy, probably would have cost a fortune to ship. The wheels are rubber. They really do spin, and they are very heavy. It doesn't weigh as much as a gallon of milk, which is 7 pounds, but I'm going to say it's probably 3 to 4 pounds. It's really heavy. It's heavy. Maybe 3 pounds. Like a half a gallon of milk. Yeah, it probably weighs about a half a gallon of milk. That's how I figure things out. What is its ratio to a gallon of milk? Yeah, so this is, let's review, shall we? Teeny tiny, super short, but good head sculpt, 2020, did I say 2012 or 2014, Captain America, the First Avenger, World War II Captain America was in the box. John Walker, Captain America was in the box, and you saw it here, folks. You saw it here. Where's the clip? Here's the clip was half broken when I showed it to you, and then as I was touching it, the other half of the clip broke off. So now he's stuck with the peg. But you know, Captain America, he loves Peggy. Loves Peggy. Then we have the Captain America and the Winter Soldier stealth suit. Captain America, MCU gave him the prototype shield, and it's going to have to be good enough for him. But the head sculpt is really good on this guy. Really, really good Chris Evans head sculpt. Worth keeping, in my opinion. Kit Bash project in process for this Deadpool. He's got that sort of metallic belt that I unfortunately super glued around his waist, so I got to do something with him. I don't know what. We'll find out. Nautilus, is his name Nautilus? I don't know. I don't know the Fortnite guy with the fish head. I think it's Nautilus, but I'm probably wrong. There's his back bling. There's a little short round and Gus Fring, and that's a disturbing image. Gus Fring escorting a small child around town while pondering his crystal meth lab. Captain Carter from What If, and that Nick Fury Secret Invasion body back there, and one of these two Green Goblins, the one on the left, was in the box with the Peter Parker accessory and the troublesome Goblin stand that doesn't want to really stay up. This one has no problem staying up. You'd be hard-pressed to knock it over, in fact. Which of the Green Goblins, which of these Diamond Select, Marvel Select Green Goblins do you prefer? For looks, I prefer the one on the left. For the look of the figure, for the look of the glider, it's this guy all day. I mean, if Marvel Legends could give us something like that for the Marvel Legends Green Goblin, holy cow. I could forgive a lot for that, Hasbro. I really could. But the figure's not great. Figure's not great. You can actually take him off and he'll stand up straight, but boy, he looks rough. He looks rough. This guy, as long as you keep him on the glider and he's on task, you know, taking Peter Parker off to his torture lair or whatever, this guy looks pretty goddamn good. I'm not going to lie. He probably belongs in a display somewhere in my toy room. I really kind of think that because he's just handsome. He's a handsome goblin MFer. And that's all there is to it. So that's what was in the box on this special, unintentionally two-part, what is it called? Action Figure Obsession? Yeah, action. AFO, hashtag AFO. Thank you for joining me for this Action Figure Obsession. I really appreciate you spending not only some time with me today, but 2 times, because we had to do part 1 and part 2. I got interrupted, but, you know, I used my the time in between to do a little research about the World War II Captain America from 2014, which, remember, that head is not his original head, but he's really short. And the important thing is, boy, he's short. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, thumbs down. Comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you subscribe so you're informed when I record future videos. Some of these are going to go back in the box, I think. This thing definitely is. The Lay Me Down to Sleep Batmobile, definitely going back in the box, wrap it up in some shrink wrap, and forget where it is for a year or two. And I don't know, I might do something with these Green Goblins in terms of crossing them over with my Marvel Legends collection. If the foot pegs work with the Marvel Legends figures, which I don't know if they do or not, but boy, that would be spectacular if they did, wouldn't it? I could see some possibilities. Thanks again for joining me for this edition of Action Figure Obsession. Please do join us next time, and I will see you on the next one.